Alrighty, we've got great news. We completed the previous major order and we also have a brand new major order that just popped up. However, the developers accidentally revealed the next major order. Not only that, but I'll also go over a post about the European Service Act and cover a lot more. If this video helps you out at any point, hit the like and subscribe buttons and turn on notifications below if you haven't already. Let's start the video by going over the previous major order news. We had the option to aim for either Wizen for the mech buff or Trandor for the Eagle rearm buff. Well, it looks like we've chosen Wizen, so we now picked up a new mech buff that reduces the cooldown by 35%. This means we should be able to call down an exosuit after 6 minutes have passed instead of 10 minutes like before, but this is only active when the Democracy Space Station is in orbit. In my opinion, I think we chose the right option, and it should help out quite a lot for future major orders and liberating planets as well. With all that said, High Command sent us a message on the Galactic War Map. As usual, if you're nowhere near your console or PC, here's what they wrote. By returning Wizen to the rightful control of Super Earth citizens, the Helldivers have helped secure the future prosperity of our citizens. In addition, they have secured the resources necessary to augment the Democracy Space Station with an exosuit support bay. The bay will be installed immediately moving forward. The DSS will provide rapid exosuit replenishment to all super destroyers it shares an orbit with, reducing exosuit stratagem cooldown by 35% on the orbited planet. The Arsenal of Freedom continues to grow more powerful. In the arms race against the triumvirate of enemy belligerents, there can be no relent, and with this victory, we take one stride closer to permanent lasting security. Yep, so as you can see, the exosuit buff will apply to all super destroyers in orbit of the Democracy Space Station. We don't have to activate a tactical action, donate any samples, or do anything like that. We just need to send the Democracy Space Station to a planet and the benefits will be activated. It's going to help tremendously when it comes to liberating planets and completing major orders. The fact that we don't have to donate samples and can receive a buff each time the DSS is sent to a planet is huge. I'm excited to see this buff in action. Speaking of which, we have a brand new major order on the Terminate side. I recommend we send the Democracy Space Station to Naval, where the gloom is, because that's where we need to go. Here's what High Command had to say. Center of Science astrophysicists on Fenrir 3 have nearly made enough progress to initiate the third and final phase of the plan to stop the Meridian Singularity. But further progress into the highly theoretical realm of dark energy manipulation will require extremely high quantities of E710 with which to experiment. The Gloom proved a deadly but rewarding E710 source in our first scientific expedition. High Command has authorized a second limited foray in order to progress our technology enough to finally stop the Meridian wormhole. Excess E710, if available, may be made available to mercantile interest in support of the common prosperity. Helldivers are advised to anticipate more Gloom-specific Terminate strains as encountered during the previous expedition. They are further advised that this enemy has been linked to significantly increased casualty rates. Armed with this knowledge, they can operate accordingly. It is critical that this operation succeeds. The Meridian Singularity cannot be allowed to destroy any more of our citizens' homes. Yep, so we're going to initiate the third and final phase that will hopefully put an end to the Illuminate Singularity. As you can see, we must liberate Naval to complete this brand new major order. Currently, the planet has a 6% level resistance. I'm not too sure if that's the highest we've seen in the past. I honestly can't recall off of the top of my head. I know we've seen low resistance and average resistance, but I don't remember seeing critical resistance besides on Fori Prime. Anyway, divers, expect high casualties because, as you all know, Fori Prime had a lot of intense battles that took so many lives, and we must exterminate bugs and liberate Naval as soon as possible. What I suggest we do is send the Democracy Space Station to Naval as soon as possible so we could benefit from the exosuit buff. However, as of making this video, you can see we can't send the DSS just yet to Naval, so hold on to your vote until we can. Otherwise, it'll be a waste. But yeah, that's the game plan. Send the Democracy Space Station to Naval, benefit from the mech buff, exterminate bugs, liberate the planet, and that's all we must do. Now, before we continue, I saw a few conversations on the official Helldivers Discord where divers noticed the major order description told us to collect Illuminate samples, but that's now been removed. I thought it was interesting that High Command brought up Illuminate samples. What's crazy is that High Command revealed the next major order after this one. In this post here, there's a Helldiver on Reddit that posted 4 screenshots showing a before and after. Previously, the major order said this: the plan to counteract the Meridian Singularity moves to Stage 3. Recent Automaton aggression has necessitated the contraction of the plan's timeline and the adoption of radical measures. On Planet 1, construction has begun on the galaxy's first reverse gravity field generator, derived from captured Illuminate technology. The generator will use E710 for a novel purpose, creating repulsive gravity that could, in theory, resist the wormhole's movement. This bold foray into theoretical geometrodynamics marks an exciting technological advance. While a complete explanation of the alien technology remains in progress, Center of Science astrophysicists are confident that any unforeseeable risks have been sufficiently mitigated. Once operational, the generator will be fueled by oceanic quantities of E710. The expedited schedule has rolled out low-risk acquisition measures. The Helldivers are ordered to venture into the gloom, gather the required concentrated E710, and ensure any surviving Predator strain terminates stay contained. Further, to catalyze this cutting-edge research, the Helldivers must also gather samples from the Illuminate. Now is the time to show this singularity that only one thing in this galaxy is truly unstoppable: democracy. Unfortunately, High Command, or rather Arrowhead, accidentally revealed the next major order. We now know there's going to be a generator that will potentially slow down the singularity, which is just absolutely nuts to think about. Who would have guessed that we were going to be told the next major order after this one? We know that we have to head to Naval, liberate it, collect the concentrated E710, and then after this one, we're going to be creating a generator, or at least assisting in some way to stop this singularity, which is just absolutely nuts. Again, I wasn't expecting this at all. So, what do you think about this all? Also, do you believe it'll be the end and the Illuminate will come shooting out of the singularity? Or do you think we're going to have to do something else to stop the wormhole? Post a response below and let's talk about it. Moving along, we're now going to talk about the European Union's Digital Services Act. This one's interesting. I saw a post on the Helldivers 2 Reddit page where a Redditor shared a thread, which you can see here. The image on the left is a screenshot of the Superstore page where the currency is currently listed. And on the right is a screenshot from a Digital Services Act page where it says, practices to avoid offering in-game virtual currencies only in bundles, mismatching the value of purchasable in-game digital content and services, denying consumers the possibility to choose the specific amount of in-game virtual currency to be purchased. Now sure, obviously this would only apply to those in European countries. However, I feel it's well worth bringing up on the channel to see what you all think about it. The same diver went on to create this post in the comments and essentially said that currency bundles that don't match the required amount are now prohibited, and you must enable players to purchase the exact amount of currency needed for an item. Additionally, a 14-day refund window for both the currency and the item must be provided. So again, this would only apply to European countries and not the United States of America. This Helldiver also pointed out that if you think it's a nothing burger, then you're wrong, because it comes from the same group responsible for forcing Apple to change the iPhone to USB-C. Well, all I have to say is it's going to be crazy to see where this goes from here and how this will affect the Helldivers 2 Superstore. I believe if the changes are implemented sooner rather than later, it will obviously force the developers to adjust the store for those in European countries. If any of you live in Europe, what are your thoughts on this? And if you don't live in Europe, what are your thoughts? I mean, let's talk about it. Lastly, for today's video, we have the top 3 comments. If you Helldivers would like to be featured, all you have to do is comment below. The first top comment comes from CMYK Lemon. This Helldiver basically asked the developers recently about the spray projectile bugs, and I didn't know at the time what he was talking about. But right here in the comments, he clarified what it is. Basically, if you guys remember the EOF update, Escalation of Freedom, where the flamethrowers and other weapons were bugged, specifically the flamethrowers, and that was recently fixed. However, it appears to not be fixed or resolved. There's actually some issues afterwards, and he talks about it right here. I didn't know what it was or what it was about, but that is awesome, and thank you for clarifying that and giving us all more info on it. The first comment comes from Chronometer. Honestly, I like the fact that some items are exclusive to events. As much as I'd love the Creek Cape, it is a pretty cool indicator that a player is a vet that's been around for a bit. I kind of wish they'd release capes for more pivotal MMOs like Calypso, Gloom Expedition, or Ingmar's Defense. It's a small things that would go a long way to incentivize participations in MMOs. Yes, absolutely. I don't think anyone here would disagree with you because it would be just tremendous to see something, right? To be rewarded with some sort of item. Now, I personally think that something would have been great for Calypso, just like you mentioned, or even, you know, a few days ago when we defended against the Automaton attacks. It would be cool to be called Creekers on the Cape, something like that. That would be awesome. The last and final comment comes from SK and SCS. Ah yes, we get all the answers like IDK. We know, don't know when, but we know. This is new, now we know. Don't know, LMAO. Yeah, you know what? I think it all comes down to NDAs and not trying to break anything like that, because otherwise they're capished, screwed, you know? Well, specifically the community manager. So that's probably it. And yeah, it makes sense to me, but I get your point too. Anyways, those are the top 3 comments. If you can, I would truly appreciate it if you tap the like and subscribe button and consider turning on notifications too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.